very good afternoon to you. This is TV Sapientia on Star Times Channel 260. Today is Tuesday, the 20th of May 2025. My name is Joe Ebo. In our news headlines this afternoon, the South East Caucus of the House of Representatives has called for a total cancellation of the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME. The Delta State government has opted out of the suit filed by 11 states challenging the declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State by the federal government. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, says it will revisit the ban on sachet alcohol by the end of December this year. And university non-teaching staff unions have threatened to embark on industrial action over what they described as the unjust allocation of the federal government's intervention 50 billion naira. Federal government's recently approved 50 billion naira intervention fund for university-based unions. Now the details of the news. The Southeast Caucus of the House of Representatives has called for a total cancellation of the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME. The caucus, in a statement by its leader, Egariwe Iduma Enwo, the member representing Afikpo North and Afikpo South Federal Constituency of Ebonyi State, advised the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, to fix a new date for the UTME across the country. The Southeast Caucus of the House of Representatives also called for the immediate resignation of the Registrar of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, Professor Oligbi-Edeko, in order to save himself and protect the good name he has built over the years. The group said there is the need to put measures in place for Nigerians to have confidence in UTME and other national examinations. Meanwhile, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has stated that the results of the rescheduled Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME, which took place between Friday and Monday, that's yesterday, will be released tomorrow, Wednesday. JAMB rescheduled the exam in response to considerable about overwhelming failure during the initial UTME. The board admits to technological and human failures, particularly in Lagos and the Southeast states, which substantially affected the performance of candidates. Speaking with newsmen yesterday, JAMB spokesperson Dr. Fabian Benjamin confirmed that the results of the rescheduled tests will be revealed on Wednesday, 21st of May 2025. Still on education, the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NELFUND, has commenced the disbursement of upkeep allowances for April 2025 to eligible students across the country. In a statement issued by the Director of Strategic Communications, Mrs. Oshemi Oluwatoyin, the agency confirmed that while many payments have been successfully processed, some students may experience delays due to a recent upgrade to the payment and application processing system. The upgrade, according to the statement, is aimed at enhancing security and improving the efficiency of future disbursements. NELFUND assured that it is working closely with relevant stakeholders to address the issues promptly and ensure that all eligible students receive their allowances without further delay. The Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, has launched a campaign to tackle the spread of fake driving schools across Nigeria. Corps Marshal Malam Shehu Muhammad made this known in Abuja during the opening of a two-day national workshop for driving school preparators and instructors, saying the objective is to enhance road safety and reduce accidents. The event, titled Entrenching Highway Safety in Nigeria through Standardized Drivers and Riders Training, brought together key stakeholders to deliberate on strategies for raising training standards. Highlighting the human factor as the leading cause of road crashes, the Corps Marshal stressed the urgent need to empower accredited driving schools to deliver effective training and traffic education. Mohammed said the focus is to identify and support junior schools that can transform driver behavior and reduce crashes. He described driving schools as the first line of defense in equipping motorists with the knowledge and skills to safely navigate the roads. A representative of the driving schools, Mr. Ola Ogedembe, pledged the industry's full support for FRSC's efforts, vowing to collaborate in eliminating substandard institutions and advancing the vision of the FRSC. The Delta State government has opted out of the suit filed by 11 states challenging the declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State by the federal government. The 11 states, all of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), are Adamawa, Akwa Ibom, Bauchi, Bayelsa, Delta, Enugu, Osun, Oyo, Plateau, Taraba, and Zamfara. But Delta State, which is the fifth plaintiff, has filed a notice of discontinuance. In its notice to the Supreme Court dated May 16, the state said it was no longer a party to the case. The notice was signed by the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Ekemejero Ohowerole San, Solicitor General, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Justice, Omamozo Erebe, Director of Civil Litigation, S.O. Monye, and IG Eze Owens. There are indications that the Delta State government withdrew because it is now under the control of the All Progressives Congress (APC). Governor Sheriff Oboroweri, his deputy Monday Onyeme, federal and state lawmakers, council chairmen and councillors, as well as PDP leaders, including former Governor Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, who was the PDP running mate to Atiku Abubakar in the 2023 presidential election, all defected to the APC on April 23rd this year. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has clarified its stance regarding the nationwide ban on sachet alcohol. The director of the FCT Directorate of the agency, Kenneth Azikiwe, in Abuja, said the temporary lifting of the ban was only valid until December 31, 2025. He emphasized that the recent ministerial lifting of the ban was not permanent and urged the public to disregard misinformation suggesting that the government had permanently lifted the restriction. Azikiwe said the ban will be reviewed by December 31, 2025, adding that the minister granted this temporary relief to allow manufacturers and regulators time to collaborate and ensure a more structured and effective implementation of the ban. He highlighted NAFDAC's ongoing efforts to sensitize the public across the country, noting that awareness campaigns had reached every state. He reassured the public that NAFDAC remained fully committed to regulating alcohol consumption and reiterated that sachet alcohol products containing less than 200 milliliters will be phased out after December 2025. Governor Francis Nwifuru of Ebonyi State has announced a new salary package for newly employed medical doctors working in primary healthcare facilities across the state. He made the announcement during the flag-off of the Health Activation Initiative, which signals the start of the Drug Revolving Fund and the distribution of medical equipment to general hospitals. The governor revealed that his administration has invested over 10 billion naira in upgrading health infrastructure, procuring medical equipment, and strengthening the healthcare workforce. Nwifuru said the Ebonyi State government has recruited 195 healthcare professionals, including doctors, nurses, pharmacists, and laboratory scientists, who have been deployed to general hospitals to enhance service delivery. The governor called on community leaders, traditional rulers, and civil society to join hands in monitoring and protecting the investments of the state government in the sector. The Deputy Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly, Maria Oligbi-Edeko, has resigned from her position in the House. Oligbi-Edeko, who was elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) to represent Esa North East Constituency 2, said she took the decision voluntarily due to the minority status of her party in the Assembly. The former Deputy Speaker added that she decided to step aside to allow justice, fairness, and equity to reign supreme in the House. She thanked the leaders and members of the PDP for finding her worthy to represent her constituency in the Assembly. Lawmakers in the House took turns to shower accolades on the Edo State Deputy Speaker Oligbi-Edeko following the announcement of her resignation. However, the All Progressives Congress APC member representing Orion East in the Edo State House of Assembly, Mr. Osawonyi Atu, later emerged as the new Deputy Speaker of the House. University non-teaching staff unions have threatened to embark on industrial action over what they described as the unjust allocation of the federal government's recently approved 50 billion naira intervention fund for university-based unions. In a joint statement issued over the weekend, the Joint Action Committee, or JAC, of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SSANU, and the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions, NASU, rejected the distribution formula which allocated 80% of the funds to the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, leaving the remaining 20% to be shared amongst SSANU, NASU, and the National Association of Academic Technologists, or NAT. The document was signed by Muhammad Ibrahim, National President of SSANU, and Peter Adeyemi, General Secretary, NASU, over the weekend. The unions described the allocation as grossly unfair, provocative, and totally unacceptable, while warning that proceeding with the disbursement in its current form would deepen discontent and could plunge the university system into another round of industrial crisis. They explained that the struggle is not about union rivalry, but about fairness and recognition of all staff who contribute to the functionality and development of Nigerian universities. The unions noted that non-teaching staff play essential roles in ensuring administrative efficiency, research support, technical operations, and overall stability of the university system. To end the Sapientia TV news at 1 p.m., a recap of the major headlines. The South East Caucus of the House of Representatives has called for a total cancellation of the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME. The Delta State government has opted out of the suit filed by 11 states challenging the declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State by the federal government. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, says it will revisit the ban on sachet alcohol by the end of December this year. And finally, university non-teaching staff unions have threatened to embark on industrial action over what they described as the unjust allocation of the federal government's recently approved 50 billion naira intervention fund for university-based unions. That was the Sapientia TV news at 1 p.m. On behalf of the editorial and technical crew, I am Joe Igbo. Good afternoon and thanks for choosing TV Sapientia.